An umpire and a vampire square off week after week, reviewing movies outside their own strike zone. This week's movies, the 2023 Gran Turismo and the 1990 Predator 2. Starring Danny G, Davey H, Gary B, Billy P, Thomas Kretschmann, Ginger Spice, MDJ, and Orly.
What?
Now two guys who wish vegetables tasted more like bacon. Tim Kretschmann and Jeff Miller.
Finally, one I agree with. Finally. Wow.
Did you know there was a Kretschmann in that cast?
I might have been privy to that. Yes.
Is he related to you?
Oh yeah. We don't have to save it for air. We're on the air.
Yeah.
Let's start though with telling people welcome to Dead on the Bases.
Hey, welcome to Dead on the Bases.
Yeah, this is the show where I'm a horror fan, he's a sports fan.
Go Brewers.
So of course we give him a horror movie to watch, and I have to watch a horrifyingly bad sports movie. That happens every week here. Now, I'm the vamp because of horror, and he's the ump because of sports. And Jeff is called the ump because he calls it straight down the middle. The middle of what? We don't know, but neither does he.
I'm curious why every week you open up saying, oh, the sports movie that's horrible. I never say anything bad about horror. I'm like, yep, I watch a horror movie.
I know.
I watched it.
You know why? Do you know why?
Why?
Because the movies you keep giving me are terrible.
You're so full of it. I gave you Field of Dreams.
That was a good movie.
Yeah.
You know what? And a clock that no longer runs has the right time twice a day.
Yeah, and a blind squirrel finds a nut every once in a while.
Why is that squirrel always messing with my nuts?
Okay, let's get out.
Do you know how you catch a squirrel?
No.
Climb up a tree and act like a nut. Dad joke. Because there, baby.
Because sometimes,
do you know where I got that joke? You know where I got it? Albert the Alley Cat joke book. You remember him?
Wait a second. Wait 1 second. Wait 1 second. That's uncanny. Tim, I just saw an advertisement or something on social media for that book.
No way.
I did. Maybe it came up on eBay or something. I didn't search it.
I might have it in the house yet.
Tim, I literally saw this 2 days ago. And I'm like, Albert the Alley Cat had a joke book, and you brought it up. Are you serious that was in it?
Yeah. That's the first joke in the joke book.
That's pretty good.
Because that was about as far as I got.
Well, you know what? Albert had his mindset on forecasting the weather. So, you know what? I'm surprised he even put a book out.
Yeah.
Think about that. Think about it just real quick as I digress. Hold on.
Yeah, because we do have viewers from outside the Milwaukee area.
Okay, so if anybody outside the Milwaukee area ever had a hand puppet tell you the weather, let us know. Because that's what Tim and I had growing up as kids. A hand puppet.
He started in, I think, the late 50s. It went through the 70s.
Well, I remember him.
Yeah. And he had like a cartoon show for a little bit as well.
Think about that. He had a puppet telling us what the weather was going to be like.
I want him back. There's a lot of us that want him back.
Did you have an Alley the Alley Cat cap? Winter cap?
No, I didn't. But there were a lot of people that did.
Yeah, no kidding.
There were a lot of people. I'm sure there were TV characters like this all across the country.
Really? You think so?
When we talk about horror movie hosts, there's horror movie hosts everywhere. The only one that's really left right now is Swengoolie, who happens to be out of Chicago, and I watched growing up.
Is that the same guy?
There was an original Swengoolie, and the guy that we have now used to be known as Son of Swengoolie. Okay. But when he got the show for MeTV, he allowed himself to finally become just plain Swengoolie. And now he's got 4 little helpers on the show. And one of them is going to be the new...
Really?
Yeah, and... they don't say that out loud, but everybody knows what's going on.
So that's going to be... Okay, I got you.
Yeah.
It's sort of like what they did with Hank the Dog with the Brewers. There was a real Hank the Dog, and then he died, and then they brought another dog in, and then he died. And now this dog finally died, so now they're saying Hank died. But they never told us Hank died in the first place. They wanted us to believe that the same little rat dog that was about this big was this big. So they're... Oh, look at that. I'm all the way in your screen. All right.
I see we have a suspicious user again. Hopefully our mod will go beat him up. I love watching him beat up people. All right. Well, we're going to start the show. First of all, I need to tell everybody what a great movie I gave Jeff called Predator 2. You probably have heard of it. And then Jeff gave me...
Here we go.
No, go ahead.
No.
Tell me what you gave me.
Oh, I gave you... Oh, I can tell you?
Yeah.
I gave him Gran Turismo. I saw this movie on the plane when I...
You did? I was wondering who saw this movie.
I watched this movie twice. Well, actually, my wife watched it first, and she's like, Jeff, you got to watch this. And I'm like, well, I don't feel like it. And she's like, no, I'll watch it with you. So I'm like, all right. So then I watched it, and I really enjoyed it, so I watched it a second time.
You did? Okay. This had all the earmarks that Jeff hadn't watched it before. It had all the earmarks.
That's okay. Well, we'll get into it in the
show.
Well,
it was made in the last 10 years. That's part one.
Jesus, man.
Part two. This movie made... Well, I'll get into it. I'll get into it. Are you ready?
Welcome, everybody.
Welcome, everybody. Hey, you have some popcorn while you watch the show.
You know what? Tiffany Shepis, Kane Hodder,
oh, God.
Felissa Rose, and their producer of Casualty Friday, Michael, they all know about the show. Hopefully one of them's listening.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Hey, it is amazing how you kind of embarrass us every week with that stuff. It's great.
I'm never embarrassed.
I know you're not embarrassed.
Because I got my friend right here.
Hey, and remember everybody, Michelle, remember how I was saying he's been so good for a while? Not no more. Okay, anyway.
Is that annoying me being in your screen over there? Do I have to move at all? I mean, do you see me in your screen? Is that like... Do people get confused on who you are or where you are?
There.
Do you think people think we're in the same
room? You would think that our camera crew would take care of this stuff for us, that we wouldn't have to do it ourselves all the time. And the guys in the sound booth do nothing with the sound. It's pretty upsetting.
Do you think people think we're in the same room? Well, now we kind of get away.
Unless they're very, very slow, they do.
Let's go.
Okay, well, I'm going to tell you about... Somebody's that slow. I don't want to watch the show. All right, Gran Turismo. This is the story of a United Kingdom kid that is a great video game driver.
Oh, Tina Crumpets.
Fantastic. And he gets an opportunity to race in real life. That's the story. That's the whole story right there. From the moment that he stops being the video game thing and, okay, now he's going to get his shot, and he goes to camp, the movie becomes an amalgam of Top Gun and Days of Thunder. Except, here's the thing. Well, that's not bad in itself. That's not bad in itself. It's a tried and true format. It should work. The problem that I have is this main character, the kid that's driving.
Yeah.
I don't know if they went out and they said, let's have a casting call and see if we can find the most boring person on earth. Let's find somebody with absolutely no charisma. Let's find somebody that literally you can put his face on a huge screen covering an entire wall and you just get nothing off of him. Can we find that guy? Could we find a guy that's actually more robotic than an AI-generated character in PlayStation 1 game? You know, I mean, Mario has way too much character. I'm talking like a complete statue, because that's what we got for a lead in this. And David Harbour, who plays basically Mickey the coach from Rocky, or Tom Skerritt's role in Top Gun, or Robert Duvall in Days of Thunder, you know, the crotchety coach that doesn't know if he likes him. I love how I'm slipping these past you.
I'm past.
Yeah.
Oh, that. I'm not. Okay. All right, let's roll.
But
Jessica Elmont's here.
Yeah, but he doesn't do a very good job, and I thought he has the role. He has the role that you want to connect to, because he's the one that's supposed to be fiery.
Yep.
He's supposed, and I'm like, I was like, boy, this is just one opportunity after another. You know who actually owned his scenes?
Orly.
Who?
Orly.
You mean Orlando Bloom?
Exactly.
Yeah, he's the only guy that I thought came in and did more like, where's that paycheck? Where's that paycheck? Everybody else looked like they were just there to cash checks.
All right.
And this kid that's the lead, it's too early in his career to think that's what he can do. Because he just does not have it, in my opinion.
Okay.
I found at the 40-minute mark, I write it down when I start feeling myself becoming disengaged.
Yes.
I found at the 40-minute mark, when he gets into the academy, I was starting to check out because I could already see, oh, we're doing Top Gun. They're going to start kicking people out. Then there's going to be some sort of controversy between him and the coach. And then the coach will find that, oh, maybe he is better than I thought. And then he's going to fight for him. And then they're going to go after the guy that they established in the first reel, that's Darth Vader. I mean, they didn't put him on black. How much was true? This all happened in one season. Please tell me that.
All right.
Okay. Yeah, they compressed out, and I get it. I'm good with all of that, but then hire some actor. Actually, the kid playing the rival.
Okay.
He wasn't bad.
He wasn't bad at all. You're right.
He wasn't bad. And
Tim, you're not wrong.
Leader of that. What was it? Kappa was the name of that rival group. The leader of that was Thomas Kretschmann, who you asked us about at the beginning. We do not know that he's related, but boy, he looks like he could be in the family.
Really?
He does.
Really?
If you see pictures of him and like my dad or his brother Ernie Young, it's like, yeah, they're kind of spitting image. And as he's growing older, it's like, yeah, he's kind of growing up the same way, too.
All right.
And he's done a lot of movies. I really like what he does in the movies. I have tried to reach out to him a few times, but I didn't.
Get out of here!
I didn't have merch to bribe him with.
I can get you merch. I have merch in my house. We've got T-shirts. We've got koozies. We're gonna have.
Maybe we could ship that out to Pittsburgh.
No, but really, hold on a second. So you knew of this guy before this movie?
Oh yeah. He's in King Kong. He's in the remake of King Kong that has your buddy Jack Black in it. He was in U-871. He was in Blade 2.
Really?
He was in 24, the second season, I believe, of 24 he was in.
And you reached out
He's
to him?
done a lot of stuff. I've tried to reach him via an email that I thought was his.
Yeah.
I don't know if it really was. I think when I really feel like it, I think I'm going to get that IMDb Pro account that you can get and reach out to his agent.
Yeah. And if you need merch, I can send you some merch over.
I'm sure the first thing he'll say is, prove you're really Tim Kretschmann. Send me some of that sweet, sweet merch.
And since he's been on the show now, we've mentioned him. He could wear the merch.
Right. Because you're not allowed to wear the merch until you watch the show.
Watch the show, exactly.
Right, exactly. So anyway, I was talking about David Harbour, I think, at some point. But the way his role is written, he is exactly that Tom Skerritt, the Robert Duvall. He's that character.
You're right.
And you just kind of sit there and you go, okay, seeing this, can you bring something to the role? And he just didn't. I found the main character Jan, I think is what he's called in there, and that, I guess it's his real name, of the guy that was in it, because at the end of the movie they show you this is the real guy, and he actually was his own stunt double, and I'm like, what stunt doubling? It looked like half of the thing was CGI, but okay, whatever.
Did you pick up CGI in this?
Didn't you see these scenes where they're driving and like the whole car kind of explodes out and he's like just driving and then the car comes back together?
Well, that's CGI. I get that, but
they actually, for a movie about racing, not a whole lot of racing. Right?
You're right. Yeah.
I mean, I was sitting there and I'm going,
I guess.
But again,
I guess when you think about it,
and I hate to say this because I know we have like a race fan on the show that watches every week, and is our mod, so I don't want to upset him. But
he'll cancel you.
But I don't know how interesting you can make turning left. You know,
wow.
Now, they did have a spectacular crash because that's in Days of Thunder. It's in Top Gun. You know, let's do it. The crash was pretty cool. And I did find an article on this Jan, and they had a picture of the crash. And, yeah, that thing, like, sailed out there. So that was kind of cool to watch. But that was a minute.
I might give you all racing movies next season. I can give you 9 of them.
I can give you The Exorcist.
No. Okay, no. We're done, we're done kidding around now. No.
Okay.
No.
That's all right. It'll be human centipede.
No.
Anyway.
God, no, not that either. Nope.
Now, I did look up
puke.
What the box office for this movie was.
Yeah.
The box office was twice that of Predator 2. It made twice as much money. It was a bit more expensive, and there's been 40 years in between the two. But I was actually surprised because I thought Predator 2 was not a hit. It was not a hit. This movie, I was hard put to find anybody that had seen it when I asked around the office.
Do you think having do you think coming off of Stranger Things that David Harbour brought some of that to that movie? Do you think people went to go see this because of him, knowing him?
I don't, because he made Hellboy, and that movie made nothing. Now,
but that
I will say, Hellboy sucked.
Right, but that was before Stranger Things.
No, it was not.
Really?
He got that because of that movie.
Oh, maybe I'm just.
He was also in Black Widow.
Yeah.
And
Scarlett Johansson.
Nobody was going to Black Widow to see him.
They're going to see Scarlett Johansson.
If they weren't, they should have their head examined, because that was about the only thing it had going for it. And yes. But, you know, here's the thing. Unlike Top Gun, you don't have a charming main character. You have kind of this lumbering character that almost seems like he's suffering from sleep apnea. He seems like he's going to fall asleep. For crying out loud, to get himself ready for the big game, he's listening to Kenny G. Songbird. You're trying to show, hey, racing is exciting. Now here's Kenny G.
But he had to bring
a needle drop on Kenny G.
He had to calm down. He had to, be one with the car.
When did you see him not being calm? I wanted to shake him most of the time because he was just like ice water in his veins. And unlike Rocky, you know, one of the other movies I would say that kind of winds up with, he isn't inspiring. He's a dreamer. But he wasn't like super poor, which Rocky does. And he isn't like Rocky was willing to break people's legs to get what he wanted. You know, he was just trying to get by. He was working for the bookie and all that stuff.
That guy, yeah.
What big problem did this kid have? Well, he wanted to be a race car driver. What is he willing to do that? Well, I'm just going to sit in this room and keep playing Gran Turismo on the PlayStation. That's your plan? And he's like mad that he wasn't really mad either. He's irritated or something that his father is like, that's not a good plan. Your father is correct. Take a class in mechanics. Put in minimal effort. Minimal effort. That's what we need to see. No. It's like, I kind of want to be this, but it came off lazy. And then, now I'm on my roll. Now I'm ranting.
Roll, baby, roll.
Now I'm ranting.
Oh, my God.
Then there's this part where they go to Japan, which is very big for them. Which, by the way, you're making out this kid is the underdog, right?
Right.
His sponsors are Sony, PlayStation, and Nissan. oh my God, he's so underfunded. When he crashes a car, they roll out a new one for him almost immediately. Oh, whatever will he do? But his doesn't have like gold flake on it. So, yeah, he's disadvantaged. It's like, are you really? But, okay, so they go to Japan. And he's got this, not really a girlfriend, the girl he likes to look at the picture of because he met her like once before he goes off to Japan. Race car camp.
Yes.
And then he goes to Japan and she meets up with him, who she is totally using this guy because he's a cipher. And I'm like, she's just attracted to his fame. She really doesn't give a shit about this guy. And then there's like this, I'm sorry. And then there's like this scene where they finally, they kiss. And I'm sitting there and I'm going, this is two noodles just kind of flopping against each other. And we're supposed to say, oh, chemistry.
I can only imagine watching this with you, too.
This is love. This is love.
Oh, my God.
What am I watching? I couldn't believe it.
Oh, my God.
Oh, my God. And honestly, the whole time I'm watching her as the girlfriend, I'm like, okay, does she like him or does she like flying out to Japan?
She likes flying out to Japan.
You can't. She met him for 5 minutes. It doesn't even appear. Here's the thing. It didn't even appear like he was making a lot of phone calls home to her. Because I don't remember there being scenes where he's like, late at night under the sheet. Because the whole storyline is, oh, he's so motivated to do this driving. And I was like, well, it's the first time he's done anything in his life, so that's good. But, and then, I'm going to bring this up again. Kenny G and Songbird. Has anybody ever listened to that song and felt anything other than sadness and loneliness?
No, not at all.
So this guy is cut off from his family. He's cut off from this woman that he would like to play the two-bat beast with. And he's playing freaking Songbird over and over. His sole character, like, is he fiery? No. Is he charming? No. Is he witty? No. What is your hero's sole thing that we know about him? He likes to listen to Kenny friggin' G. So what we know about the hero of our movie is that he has piss poor music taste. Possibly the worst ever. How are you going to cheer for someone like that in a movie this dull? I just don't know. But we do need to get to the horror movie connection because people are shouting out, Tim, what's the horror movie connection? We got some.
Is there a other connection too right now?
Well, that's coming in a bit. I want to do a horror movie connection.
Fine, whatever you want to do.
We're going to do what I want. I had to watch your movie.
Oh, God.
All right. So, David Harbour. Well, obviously the thing with him is Stranger Things. See what I did there? Did you see it?
Yeah.
Did you see it?
Yeah.
His breakout role was Stranger Things. He did Hellboy. He played Hellboy. And somehow made it into a huge, huge bomb. So congratulations to him on that.
Okay.
That's nice. Out of 75, this I was surprised by. He has 75 movies that he's done, or titles anyway. 5 of them were horror. That puts him at a 6.7.
Do you like him in Stranger Things? I do.
I like him in Stranger Things.
I love him in Stranger Things.
I like him in a lot of stuff. I remember some of his earlier stuff. But he is he isn't fiery.
No.
He's grizzled and cranky.
Wait a second.
He's
you know what
cranky.
else he's in that you don't have up there?
What?
And I'd probably get a point for this.
Okay.
The new Santa Claus Silent Night. He was in that.
Yes, he was.
Hell yeah, give me a point, baby.
That's not a horror movie.
The hell it ain't.
That's not a horror movie. That's an action film.
Wow.
That's an action film. You're not getting a point for that.
That's funny, people.
Yeah.
You know what? Send me an email. Let me know if that's not a horror movie or not. All right?
Yeah. Do you even know your email address?
I do. It's going to show in a little bit.
Okay, yeah. All right.
That's a horror movie. I get a point for that, people, just so you know.
You do that. Orlando Bloom, he's got 47 movies under, or Orly, as most people call him.
I do.
I also call him a loser.
Wow.
No horror credits to his name. Then we have our star, Jan. His real name is Archie Madikwe.
Yeah.
Oh, did the Brewers finally put one on the board?
That's a spam call.
Oh,
I get a bunch of those. I'm getting rid
good.
of those.
I'm glad you leave the ringer on.
I'm sorry.
I
got other stuff going on, all right?
This Archie was in the movie Midsummer, which I know a lot of people like it. I'm not going to watch it. He is a newer actor. He only has 18 credits total, so he has 3 horror movie credits in that. I'd be impressed, but every third movie coming out of Hollywood right now is horror because they figured out that's where the profits are. So the other movies are all superhero films.
Horror or sports. Got it.
Yeah, I think you're going to be running out next season. There's not any more movies
There's
coming.
9 auto movies I'm going to send you.
Not any that are going to get above a 5. Okay, and then
Cannonball Run 2.
That one might actually get you a score of some kind. All right, then we have Digimon Honsu. I think I said that right.
Yes.
He's actually been showing up in quite a few horror films. He has an 8.7 percentage. 69 movies, 6 of them are horror. He is also a
Hall of Famer.
Hall of Famer. From what movie?
I don't know.
Do you remember?
No.
Got to roll all the way back to season 2. He was in Deep Rising.
Was he?
Constantine. And the last 2 Quiet Place movies.
Was he in Captain Ron? The one with
I don't think so.
With Tom Hanks.
Oh no,
Captain Ron.
He was not in that, and it wasn't Captain Ron. It was.
Captain Ron with Kurt Russell.
Yes.
Captain Phillip.
He talks about watch out for the gorillas.
Captain Phillip or Philip.
Captain Phillip, I think, it's something like, or Phillips or something. Yeah.
He was not in that. He was not in that.
He was not in that movie.
Okay, no, he looks like he's a Somali. He looks like the Somali people in the Somali movie.
You
know what I'm saying?
You're starting to walk into the quicksand.
Right, but if you
let me give you this picture.
You know what I meant.
Do you know what that is?
That's TK.
Take a look.
It's TK, yeah.
Take a look. Yeah. He was in Blade 2, as I told you, in the King Kong remake. He actually played Dracula in Dario Argento's Dracula 3D. And he was in a short-lived TV series called The River, where he was the riverboat captain. That was a horror movie, or a horror show, that was done in the found footage type of look. I haven't given you a lot of found footage yet.
You know what? Blair Witch.
Oof. Oh, that's coming.
Oof. I saw that movie. Because that's
coming.
That's bad. I mean, I didn't sleep for weeks after that movie.
Poor Jeffy.
The doggone basement? Are you kidding me?
Okay. It's time for that other connection.
Oh, yeah. Pauly Shore. Come on, set up with something good, Tim.
I think you'll like this one.
All right, let's see it. I'm going to say 2.
Okay, we went with David Harbour.
Oh, good.
A movie called Everyday, which I'm not very familiar with, and immediately went into my movie queue.
It's a good movie.
It's a lot of actors.
You'll like it. It's a good movie.
You haven't seen it. Shut up.
It's just like every day is the same as the other day. It's every day.
No, that's a different movie.
Groundhog Day.
Okay. And then Helen Hunt connects to Pauly Shore in a movie called How It Ends.
Yeah.
And I'm such a huge Pauly Shore fan.
Yeah.
I decided not to put that in my queue.
Yeah. I'm not a Helen Hunt fan, so.
I like Helen Hunt.
Do you?
I loved Mad About You. And there is a movie that is horror adjacent that I am probably going to be giving you at some point because
I've probably heard
it's
of it.
Considered a horror movie. Is Trancers.
No, I heard of that.
And it's kind of got like a zombie type thing going on with it.
Zombies.
But yeah, and I know you hate zombies, so I'm going to throw that one at you just for fun to make you hate it.
How about that zombie picture I sent you, the zombie hunter picture? You liked that, didn't you? that I sent you carrying the guns. That's a good picture.
God, okay.
I was going to get some zombies.
Okay. I'm going to give this thing a score and get its misery
You're
over.
going to give it a good score. You can give it.
What am I going to give it?
You're going to not be very terrible on it, but you're not going to be very good. You're going to go right down the middle. 5.
You're close. It's mediocre. It's mediocre. I put it on the low side because as I was writing this thing up,
you got more pissed off.
I got more pissed off. I'm not kidding. I mean,
I get you.
The main character, if that kid, okay, if they swapped out that kid with Tom Holland, you know, the kid that's now doing Spider-Man.
Okay.
I think it'd probably be good for a couple points.
Okay.
I can say David Harbour. They replace him. I think that'd be good for a couple points.
Damn.
Because I don't think he was very good.
So you're saying your entertainment
I'm saying
level
your
is a
2
4.
leads. You get rid of them. I would put this guy in.
Okay.
But
so you're saying you replaced it. You replaced the 2 leads, Tim.
I replaced the 2 leads.
It probably goes. It's more entertaining.
It probably goes up to like a 7.
Wow.
Yeah. Well.
Okay, I give you.
Yeah. It's just what it is.
We're entitled to our opinion.
Yeah. Mine's right.
Mine's
then
never
there's
right.
yours. Yeah. Okay. Hey, you know what's coming up,
No,
Jeff? Are you
not at
prepared
all.
for it?
Never.
You got your notes?
Yeah,
okay.
I'm prepared.
Here we go. It's time to go to the break. That means we're going to the Jeff newsroom, and everybody is ready for that. Except me.
You're
So yeah, this is
so condescending.
Our what are you talking about? I'm not being condescending. Are you ready? You're ready?
I'm always ready.
You're ready.
Yeah.
You're born ready. Okay, here we go.
BR.
And we are stout.
Stout.
Give it a second. Okay, because we're gonna cut this and make it a special video later. So are you ready? Mm-hmm. Here we go.
I'm Jeff Miller, and this is Today in Sports History, October 3rd edition. In 1920, on October 3rd, the American Pro Football Association, later becoming the NFL, the Dayton Triangles down the Columbus Panhandlers 14-0 in the first official game. In 1951, one of the biggest home runs ever hit on this date in October 3rd, 1951, the shot heard round the world. New York Giants' Bobby Thompson hits a 3-run dinger off of Brooklyn's Ralph Branca to give the Giants the National League pennant with the score of 5-4. In 1970, the first MLB umpire strike happens. It lasts 1 day. 1974, Mr. Clutch, 1974, October 3rd, that is. Mr. Clutch Jerry West of the Los Angeles Lakers retires after 14 years in the NBA. A little closer to home here in Milwaukee in 1976, the Hammer, Hank Aaron, on October 3rd, singles in his last at bat and drives in his 2,297th run in a 5-2 Brewer loss to the Tigers. And finally, on this date in 2021, the Cleveland Indians won their last game before changing their name to the Guardians, beating the Texas Rangers 6-0. I'm Jeff Miller, and that's Today in Sports History.
That was good. I'm pleased with that.
Cut that out.
Well, I'm going to cut it right before.
All right.
Oh,
Merch. Let's do it.
It's merch time. Now, have you guessed who is sponsored merch this week?
I'll tell you what, if it's whoever I think it is, if it's ever that organization or building or whatever, I'm done on the show. I am done. I will walk out and it'll be my last show ever. It better not be. It better never ever
Let's make some merch money.
Because that would make me very upset. Oh, I like this little shopping cart. Hey, we're going to be that season for Halloween. You know what? You can hand those out for trick-or-treaters. Little merch koozies.
With a beer in them.
Well, all right.
Open it up, Muskego style.
I remember when I...
That's right, Movie Cast.
Yeah.
Another failed business.
Where is it? Is that the thing you had?
Yeah. It is back now. And they're saying this time. You know, it was $9 for you could see another movie every day. Well, now it's like $9 and you can see a movie.
Hey,
so,
did I tell you I just went to a Marcus Theater last week?
you did on purpose?
I did because I wanted to see just a bit outside the 1982 Brewer.
How was it?
Oh my God. It was emotional. It was
God.
very good. It was 2 hours long.
Poor
And
Jeff.
you know what, Tim? I loved it. I loved every minute of it. It was fantastic. There were some backstories that I was not aware of. It was just, I mean, they had Raleigh Fingers, Ted Simmons, Gorman Thomas. They talked to all these guys, and they talked to Pete Vukovich, and it was really, really good. And you know what? I mean, hopefully it'll be out there somewhere where people can stream it because I think it's out of theaters now. I think it only had a very short run.
I think this is made for Netflix or, one of the streamers is going to pick it up. That's why you make these movies now. All these documentaries that are coming out, they always end up there. I think it got the theatrical run because they wanted for Oscar consideration.
Seriously? For like a short... No. What would they...
The problem is they would need to have it run in a major market for 3 weeks.
Okay. See what we're learning, people?
Three screenings a day or something like that. I can't remember what the actual rule is. And I think in Milwaukee you could get that to happen. I don't know that L.A. will play the Bob Uecker story. No. So, but I think they made an attempt anyway, and there's probably something that they can get because of that theatrical run.
It's so wonderful. If you're a Brewer fan, I mean, it's just wonderful. If you're a baseball fan, just the fact that what the city did for this team that lost. They lost the World Series, but yet they have still been like reigned as kings. I mean, it's amazing. It's just the love, and when players say, "Oh yeah, I love the city, I love the city." You show me another city that throws you a parade for a team that loses the World Series. You won't see it.
We did get something in the chat room. The best Vukovich moment, he talks about this all the time. There was a rain delay.
Yeah.
So he got on the mic and told all the kids how to throw a spitter.
There you go.
Hey, you know what's coming up, Jeffy?
Oh, yeah, what?
That's right. Well, if you would watch the show, you would know it is time for Horror Realm. And Horror Realm has some pretty exciting stuff. We had some guest announcements last week that Joe Shelby, Mike Berryman, and Jason Baker are all going to be at this year's Horror Realm.
Is that it?
What do you mean, is that it?
Is there more people?
Those are the ones we know of so far.
Oh, there we go. Karen Klitschy.
Cliche.
It's so cliche to say it that
Right.
way.
Okay.
But Horror Realm. Did you ever notice Horror Realm HR home run? So they have a sports connection. Ooh, do you have a little button for that? Sports connection?
No.
Okay.
All right. But that's coming out, and we'll see you all out there.
We'll be there, too.
Jeff will have merch.
We'll have merch. We'll be talking to you. We'll be signing things. Bring out a baseball. I'll sign it.
Okay.
I'll sign anything.
And I will sign your corpse.
Tim.
If you bring a corpse to there, I will sign
Did you see that guy last year that brought the top of a casket? It's his casket that he's going to have when he dies, and he brings the top part in.
That's very thoughtful of him.
And he has people sign it, yeah.
Now, Jeff,
that's
your email address.
I know.
Okay. You didn't seem to know
my email fills up every week. I gotta get everything out of there. What do I need this for? I don't need this for anything.
Yeah.
All right. So
those are notes.
Is it time?
You don't use notes.
No, is it time for me? All right.
Yes, it's time for you. We're running late.
Well,
I talk too much.
Okay, so yes.
When I dislike a movie, those go long.
So here's the thing.
If I like it, I say, yeah, it was good.
I have Predator 2.
So this should be short because Jeff's just going to say.
This is a 1990 movie that started out at NC-17, but they did a couple cut here, cut there to get down to an R.
There's a cut, here's a cut, everywhere is cut.
But they do a whole lot of cuts. There's only like 16 or 17 frames, actually, if you think about it. So it's a 1990 movie, Predator 2. It's R-rated. It's an hour and 48 minutes long.
Oh, good. I was wondering how long it was.
Now, Tim, bear with me.
That's what she said.
Bear with me on this review. I started this.
Bear with you. Okay.
I started this.
That's typically a great sign that it's going to be a good review.
I started this movie 4 different times.
Oh my God.
This was sort of like when I tried to read a book. When I tried to read, and I try to read it, and then
you have to get past the part that says "Watch Dick Run."
Right. And I'm reading it, right, and then I like close it, and I'm like, well, what happened? So then I got to start it all over again. And you really can't have those long type of books. There's a book that I really want to read. It's called Where is Joe Merchant? It's written by Jimmy Buffett, and I had that book for the longest time, and I've only get through like a few.
It's Jimmy Buffet.
What did I say? Oh, I said Jimmy Buffett. I was right. So I get through like the first couple chapters, and then let's just say I go away from it for a while. I forget, so I have to start over. So I never got through that book. So I'm looking for it on eBay.
That's how we feel about your reviews every week. We never got through it.
So now let's get back to Predator 2.
Predator 2, it's 1 hour and 48 minutes.
It's 1 hour and 48 minutes.
148 minutes.
1990. And the cool thing is that this is 1990, and they're projecting 1999. So this movie is actually...
This is the future as seen in the past.
Yes. This is actually a movie in the past that they want in the future. Now, honestly...
That was my favorite part of the movie, is seeing 1999 up on the screen. I'm like, no shit.
Yeah.
I thought,
It's like watching Escape from New York. I think that takes place in 1997.
Yeah, it's something like that, yeah.
But anyway, so I did try this movie 4 times. I'll tell you what, Tim, to be completely honest with you, the way that it starts out with all the chaos in the streets... I think it's a little bit of an aggressive start. It starts in the middle. Like if you're eating soup or something, you're in the middle of the bowl already. You didn't even try the. You didn't try
a bowl of soup.
You didn't try the soup.
Okay.
You didn't try the croutons on top.
I did not see this simile coming, everybody.
You started right in the middle, and you're like, "What did I just scoop with my spoon?" You don't even know what you're getting. You're dropped right in the middle, and it is really chaotic.
Which is a lot like Lethal Weapon 2 starts in the middle of a car chase.
It does.
And I think that was kind of a thing in the early 90s. They throw you right in the middle of chaos, and I agree. It's kind of hard for you to figure out what is going on. There's gunfire, there's cops, they're trying to save. There was a cop that was down. There's some sort of news camera right there. It's like, what is going on? And then everybody is dressed. Everybody's dressed like they came from a 1940s party. All over the place. They're wearing straw hats. And they keep talking about how hot it is, and everybody's wearing a sports jacket. I'm like, what the hell? Take off the sports jacket, kids.
At one point, there's a horse-driven carriage going through there, so you even know where.
You know what I think is funny though? Back in 1990, they thought in 10 years the fashion would be people dressing up more, right? That people would dress up more. What do you think those screenwriters think now that?
Can you imagine?
Nobody even owns a tie anymore.
Right.
You know, it's like they shot exactly opposite of where things were going.
They were way off mark. Yeah. But back to your point about being 1990 with this, you got Danny Glover. Danny Glover's coming off of a Lethal Weapon, or maybe even a Lethal Weapon 2. I like him in this role. I do, because to me...
Well, you got to think, too, in 1999, there were not movies... that had an African-American
1990, you mean?
1990.
It's projected 1990. Yeah. But right, and you're right, and that's a big thing.
They didn't have much in 1999 either.
But I like Danny Glover just because it's a regular guy. I could really relate with him. I'm not black, obviously, you can see. But I can relate with him as like a regular guy on the beat going, what the F's going on?
Just another guy halfway through his soup.
Exactly. I'm telling you, Tim, I thought about that. I'm like, this is like if you just jump into the middle of a piece of some soup and you don't even know what soup you got. You got to test the sides first, Tim. You got to test the sides.
What?
You have to test the sides of the soup first because you don't know what you got. What if you just get soup and you don't even know and you just go right in the middle? Oh, maybe I got some shrimp. Maybe I got some gumbo. Maybe I got some chicken. Maybe I got
chat room, please let me know who eats their soup from the sides. Let's see cool. How many names are going to come up here.
Nobody jumps right into the middle of a bowl of soup.
I do.
Well, then you'd feel perfectly fine jumping in the middle of a gang riot.
Here's a thing that you might not do. I know what I'm putting in my mouth.
Yes. I do, but you never know. You never know. Anyways, so
That's what she said
back to the movie.
about putting it in her mouth.
I love having Gary.
In case you didn't connect it.
Gary Busey is also a gem to have in this movie. So is Bill.
Oh, he's so good.
So is Bill Paxton. Those three right there made the movie for me.
Oh,
they
yeah,
really
absolutely.
did because Gary Busey is a gem. I mean, yeah, he's out there now.
Do you know we've met him?
We have?
No, our what used to be the East Coast horror group, the Otherworldly Culture.
East Coast. Wait,
we have.
East would be this way. Wait, East Coast. All right, go.
I don't think we could make it that long. But Gary Busey, we met him.
Yeah.
He is a little bit out there, pal.
Well, he's got some brain
He's
damage
out there. He had that motorcycle accident. And I guess it's a progressive brain damage that's been happening over the years. He actually had that accident was shortly before this movie, is what I had heard. Yeah.
Well, so you have Danny Glover. He gets thrown in the middle of all this chaos. Like, who's killing who? Because you have. I'm gonna do my best not to spoil this because you should probably still watch it, but maybe not. So, anyways, here's the thing. So these two gangs are going on: the Jamaican gang and the Colombian gang, I think.
They're all the same.
But
they really are.
But they're killing each other, and then all of a sudden, some people get killed. And they're like, "Hey, who killed these people?" And then all of a sudden, Glover's partner gets killed. You're like, "What's going on?" And you can sort of see what's going on. You can see this like figure that you can't see, but you can see him, but you can't. And you're like, "What's going on?" So they got to figure out. But Gary Busey plays a federal guy, and they want to find out. They want to get this predator. It's predator.
Honestly, today, whenever there's sequels, it's like Iron Man, Man of Iron, right? Or something colon. Right. This was based on a comic book called Concrete Jungle.
Yep.
I do think if they would have called this, instead of Predator 2, Predator Concrete Jungle, I think it would have helped the movie.
It would have.
Because really the Predator is still hunting people. Uh-huh. But he's like watching all these gangs fighting, and he's like, "Oh, those are the alpha males or whatever."
And that's what he wanted.
I'm taking those down. I'm not going to go for the does. Okay, he doesn't kill children. And what was the other rule? Pregnant women.
Pregnant women, because Glover's partner, Maria Conchera Alonso. You know what? I'm trying to think at the time. Was she going to be the new It person in Hollywood? She was
in a lot of movies.
She was around that time, right?
Yep.
That's what I thought. So, and we find out that you know what? She is a really good actress in this movie. She plays his partner.
You saw where my finger was.
I did. Anyways, so here's the thing.
He almost did it, folks.
The thing of it is that, like we were just saying prior to this, that she was in a lot of movies around this time, but I think she's kind of fallen off the map. I haven't seen her really.
You know, she was in The Running Man.
Yes, that was the other one, Tim. That was the other movie.
There was a couple right at that 1990.
Yep.
She like popped from one to another, and she disappeared completely. And Ruben Blades, who you hadn't mentioned yet, he's in this movie, and he was kind of like perched to be bigger, but he never
got there.
He never really got there, but he really adds a lot of character. Like, okay, we were just talking about characters that you watch in that last movie where you're just like, I don't care.
No.
Ruben Blades, he's got like 15 minutes at a time maybe in the movie.
Right.
And you actually know who he is, what he is, you know, how he lives his life, just by things like his dialogue and what he's wearing and how he reacts to other people. He does a lot with a pretty small role. Bill Paxton, he's in the movie, not a ton.
No, but he's got some of the best lines in the movie.
He steals every scene he's in. He's like, I'll take that from you, and I'll take that, and I'll take that.
Bill Paxton's one of my favorite actors. He really has been. I mean, just like that, everything that he's in, he owns.
We lost him too early.
Yeah,
he's one of those. I would have loved to have seen him as an 80-year-old because so much of his acting is just power. You know, just energy. He just goes, "Wah!" And I would have loved to have seen him as like an 80-year-old guy trying to dial it back and not being able to.
No,
it would have been hilarious.
What's with Morton Downey Jr. in this? What is his purpose?
Okay.
He really has no purpose because.
Do you know the year?
Yeah,
the year was 1990.
This is when he had his big show.
This was the zenith of his time. And every time I watch this movie is a guilty pleasure of mine.
Is it really?
I'll explain why in a minute.
Really?
Yes. And there's a reason.
Yeah, I'm sure there is.
But Martin Downey Jr. showing up every time I watch it, I go, oh yeah, he's in this. I'll tell you why I like this movie. Scroll up the IMDb for a second. This movie has connections. No, scroll back down.
It's an hour and 48 minutes long.
Damn it. Get to the cast. Get to the cast, you slowpoke. Okay. I'm going to read off some of the actors in this movie.
Yeah.
They are connected to like every big 80s and early 90s
You're
movies.
Right. 100%.
You have Danny Glover, who was in Witness, and he was in the Lethal Weapon movies. Gary Busey, also in Lethal Weapon.
Yep.
Also, he's Gary Busey. He was in a ton of stuff. Kevin Peter Hall, who plays the Predator, was also Harry and the Hendersons, folks.
That was a person in that suit?
Yes. He was also one of the leads in the greatest television series ever made called Misfits of Science. Ruben Blades, he was hot at that particular time. Maria, we talked about.
Yeah.
With Running Man, Bill Paxton was the 80s.
Yeah.
Robert Davi, also from Die Hard.
Yes.
Adam Baldwin, he was in My Bodyguard. He was in Chuck. He was in Firefly.
There you go.
Kent McCord is from Adam 12, if you remember that show as an older. Yep. Actually, they don't have. Oh, they do have his name. See, Steve Cahan on there.
Yep.
He played a sergeant at the beginning of the movie. He's the one telling Danny Glover, "Don't go in there." You know, the typical role. He's the guy that played the captain in all the Lethal Weapon movies.
Yes, he was.
Watching this movie, it's just like, oh, it's that guy. Oh, it's that guy. And I don't know how many times I've seen this movie. Every time I watch it, that's cool. Also in this movie, you get to see the Predator a heck of a lot more than the first one.
Yeah.
Which is bad and good all in one.
I think it's bad, but okay.
But I enjoyed some of the new weapons he had, like his smart disc and the net and that stuff. It also reminds me a lot of, and they were actually looking at having this guy in the movie, is Steven Seagal's movie Out for Justice, where he takes down, I think in that, it was Jamaican drug lords.
But Steven Seagal wanted to incorporate some jiu-jitsu in this.
And they said that's not what this movie is. But it has a similar feel to that movie.
It does.
It's kind of, it feels very much like end of 80s, early 90s.
It does.
So I love that about this movie. It's like a time capsule. And I do have a love for older movies projecting a future that never ended up happening.
Exactly.
I love that stuff. I just eat that up with a fork.
But
not a spoon,
no.
Because otherwise you're going toward the middle of the
you don't even
soup.
know what's going on with that. But
yeah.
Martin Downey Jr. though, if he wasn't Martin Downey Jr., that role doesn't even need to be in this movie. That doesn't even need to be there, right?
Right.
You don't care. Anyways.
It
doesn't.
It's absolutely true. They could have found anybody. They could have had a real actor. But I kind of enjoy that he's in there.
Right. Because
from the standpoint of, oh, yeah, that's right. He was hot for like 2 years. And he had 2 years of career.
He did. He had his 15 minutes of fame last.
Would it have been more awesome to have Jerry Springer in that role? Yeah.
Probably.
Absolutely.
Probably.
Would have been great. But Martin Downey Jr., that's such a specific time. It's like, this was the week he was big. Got him.
And then of course,
he probably made more money on that than the frickin' TV show.
He probably did. And then, of course, you have Terry Weigel. She is a former Playboy playmate. I didn't know that she was in this movie because her role as the Colombian
it's like
girl,
half a minute.
I know, but it's like you wouldn't know it's her. But when I was doing my research on this, I saw her name. I'm like, oh, I know who she is. So, anyways,
did she die tragically?
No,
or
she's
something?
still alive.
She is?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, she's doing some naughty stuff. Yeah.
Well, that's what they do.
Yeah. But anyways, yes, Terry Weigel, she's in there. Well, I don't know. She could be dead. I don't think she is. I think I looked her up, and I think she's not dead. Okay. But anyways, so back to the movie. So
I thought there was like a story. But
you're
probably right. I didn't research it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So anyway. Oh wait, and then is this? You can tell me. Is Adam Baldwin? Is that in relation to the Baldwins?
I'm trying to remember if he is one of the
because
Baldwin
he looks so
brothers.
familiar. He looks more like Ben Affleck, to tell you the truth.
Adam Baldwin. Did you ever watch Chuck, the TV series?
I think
Chuck?
so.
He was the main. He was like the CIA connection or whatever for Chuck. And he was so good in that show. And he's even better in a TV series called Firefly. So it's hard for me to separate him from that. But I believe he is one of the Baldwin brothers. But I don't... Oh, wait. No, he is not related. And he did not kill anybody with a gun on a set.
So, Predator...
So we got both of those things covered.
Let's wrap up Predator. Predator... Which is that 1990 movie that was...
Predator, 1 hour and 48 minutes.
We know that already.
23 seconds. Yeah.
I told people that already.
Okay, thank you.
But anyways, back to Predator. It's an action movie. This is an action movie that gets passed off as horror because I was never scared in this movie. I was never really like frightened or scared. I was just waiting kind of for it to end.
It does take too long in the third act.
Some of it's
the third act just goes on.
It does. And then, you know what? I mean, I thought about Rocky a few times when they were in the meat locker chasing after him.
Yes.
You did, didn't you?
I did,
and
yes.
I wanted to look if the pieces of meat were like meat or if they were plastic, and they look kind of meatish. But
this is not a thinking man's movie.
I know, but
you're aware of that, right?
I do like movies that you don't have to think, because then you don't have to. You can just watch it.
This is a movie for you.
But I wasn't really that. This was not a movie that I'd ever go back to. This is a movie that I'm kind of disappointed that I watched. I have a score written down here, but I don't know how fair it is. I think I want to
give it to me.
No, I want to adjust it a little bit.
Give it to me.
I'm gonna give it a. I have written down this, Tim, but I'm gonna give it a 5.
No, you can give it.
No, it's mediocre. I'm gonna give it 5.
All right.
It's just not my cup of tea. It may be some other people.
I rewatch it for the reasons I lined up. It is not a good movie.
It just depends on if you like your soup on the edges or if you want to just jump right in.
Okay. Folks that see us at Horror Realm, at any time, feel free to approach Jeff with soup and ask him to eat it around the edges.
Well, that's where it's the coolest too. You don't want to
people are going to be sending you soup in email this week, Jeff.
Okay, fine, bring it.
It's going to happen. Our millions and millions of viewers are going to do that.
I don't have any sports connections with this. I think we're good.
All right. Well, we're going.
Oh, we're back
to trivia time.
Oh my gosh, already.
I forgot to put your number up, but it was a 5. Everybody. All right. Are you going first or am I?
You can ask me first.
All right.
I like the drama.
We know. All right, here we go.
Wait, let me take this Predator thing down.
Yeah, I'm going.
I'll go to Grand. Go ahead.
That's fine.
I'm over this way.
All right, Stephen Hopkins, who is the director of the movie Predator 2, also directed the film Race from 2016, which we already reviewed on this program. That was number 1. Number 2, simple search reveals that Predator 2's subway scene caused a lot of cases of photosensitive epilepsy.
Okay.
And number 3, Bill Paxton is one of 2 actors that was in the Predator, Alien, and Terminator franchises. That is why he is awesome.
Tim.
You're not commenting on that is why he is awesome. I just had to say it.
I like Bill Paxton. No.
He is awesome.
He is.
I think from now on in the show, we'll call him Awesome Bill Paxton.
That's fine.
He'll come up.
Well, I had him in the people starring as Billy P. So, let's see. Okay, so the photosynthesis makes sense to me because that was wicked, and I can see
photosensitive epilepsy.
Like people like
that was number 2.
You mean people in the theaters got epilepsy and they said, "Hey, this is because of the movie."
That's what I mean.
Okay, and then the one about Race that just seems so like it's one sentence and boom, that's it. And now the other one. Now here's the thing, Tim.
Yeah, here's the thing.
I know. Okay, so I know he's in Predator. And I know he's an alien.
Let me practice here. Okay, I'm ready for your question.
I know he's a Predator. I know he's an alien. But now, was he in the Terminator? Are you saying the Terminator series somewhere along the line in Terminator?
He was in one of the Terminator films, I'm saying.
And how many were there?
Terminator?
Yeah. There was at least 2.
There were 3, 4, 5, 6, I think. I think we're up to 6. But I'm not opening the chat room. They're yelling at us right now.
No, I have this right here.
I know.
Okay, so the epilepsy thing, I can see that. I can see that being a thing. Because that was wicked. And I could see
that was extreme.
And I could see people being like upset about that sort of stuff and that. And the thing about Race though, and you said he directed it. So he was like the main dude on there.
The director.
The director of it.
That's the guy that directs the film. The director directs the film.
And what's his name again?
Stephen Hopkins. An Australian gentleman.
He's not related to Anthony Hopkins, is he?
I'm not going to say. I don't know.
All right, and then the other one is
he's Australian. That I know.
Tim, I'm torn between 1 and 3.
You know what Australians are.
Are you trying to get me on the Terminator part? I think that's what it is because we all know because you had me have Alien. So there's you didn't even put down he is a Hall of Famer.
Well, that's because he's in the horror movie already.
I know, but he's
a horror movie connection.
I know, but he's a Hall of Famer because we watched Alien already, so we know that. So he was in that and that. I know that. But was he in Terminator?
Ooh, was he?
Was he looking for work?
And Terminator was what, 82?
Yeah, but he could have been anywhere.
He may not have been born.
No, but you said he could have been in any one of them.
He could have been.
But Race seems like, why would he do Race? Race has nothing to do with him. He doesn't do that stuff.
Not Bill Paxton.
No,
the director.
Guy, the director.
Yeah.
Okay, this is where I'm going.
The director is the guy that directs the film.
This is where I'm going with this, Tim.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to say that the photosynthesis that people got is going to be true.
That's true.
And I'm going to say that, let's say Billy P did some Terminator. So I'm going to say the false one. The false one is Race. The first one is the
Stephen
false
Hopkins.
Yeah.
And you remember what movie that was?
Yeah,
about
it's
Jesse
got,
Owens and
yeah. Well, I gave it to you. Yeah.
Right. Well, that usually doesn't mean anything, and neither does your answer. So
it's the third one, isn't it?
Actually, the photosensitive epilepsy.
Oh my God! Are you serious with this?
I did search after search.
How is that possible that that's not?
I did so many searches because I'm like, this scene had to have caused it. Because I was thinking of Wang Chung. Do you remember the Wang Chung?
Everybody Wang Chung.
Everybody was getting epilepsy seizures off of that thing.
Oh,
and before some stuff on Netflix, they tell you. And I could not find a single case. There might be one, but that's why I say a simple search reveals if there's one, it's buried deep, brother. I could not find one. I was amazed. I was amazed. I'm like, this has to be like one of the first biggies. No.
So he directed Race, and Paxton was in a Terminator movie.
Bill Paxton is... it's debatable if he got killed by Arnold or not, but when Arnold shows up naked in 1980 whatever, he's one of the punk rockers that pulls a knife on him and says, "Laundry Day" or something like that.
I just saw
that. And he ends up wearing Bill Paxton's getup for the rest of the movie.
That sucks.
Bill Paxton and the other actor, just so you know, is Lance Henriksen. He was in Aliens. He was the android in that.
Yeah.
He was like the police chief's second in command in Terminator. And he did something in one of the Predator versus Alien movies. And I think he got that just so that he would also be in all.
I'm disappointed right now. You can talk. It's just white.
I'm just trying to get you off your. Okay, go ahead, Jeff.
Tim, this. Am I 0 for this? I'm 0 for this
You're
season.
0 for the season so far.
Jesus, man. Here we go. All right.
You're getting into your own head.
I
even at one point, you remember I pressed the wrong button? I said, because you kept saying...
Don't do that, because now
you kept saying that the simple search reveals the Predators too, and you're like, well, that one's got to be true. I hit the wrong button just to try to throw you off of that. And like, no, you were convinced. You were convinced.
Don't do
but
that, though.
Honestly, I was convinced too that was true, and it wasn't.
What? Don't I get a point for that Santa Claus killer thing?
Sure, I'll give you a sympathy point. You want a sympathy point? Oh.
No, but I just want to point out to the listeners and viewers that I know a little bit about horror.
Tim's unusually mean to Jeff.
Here we go. Are you ready?
I get a lot of emails on that.
Are you ready?
At tim@otherworldlyculture.com.
David Harbour, who went to Dartmouth, dabbled
I have no idea where he went.
It doesn't make a difference. It's just part of my sentence.
Go ahead.
David Harbour, who went to UW Milwaukee. No. David Harbour, who went to Dartmouth, dabbled in poker, while there, claims to have known the person who plays KGB in the movie Rounders. So not the guy who plays him, but he knows a real-life person that KGB is built off of. Jerry Halliwell, right.
Halliwell.
Yep. Quit the Spice Girls in May of 1998 to pursue modeling after an earlier Page 3 photo shoot was revealed. And Orlando
What's that got to do with this movie?
Well, it's about her. Jerry Horner. She used to be a Spice Girl.
She was in the movie?
She was in the movie, yeah.
Who'd she play?
Leslie Mardenball.
Who is that?
You should watch the movie.
I did. It was hard to stay awake. I did a lot of things.
Okay, well, she's in there, so that's part of my question.
Okay, I believe you.
Okay.
I don't remember her being in there.
On the actress Jerry Harwell, who is Jerry Horner.
Go ahead. I got what's number 3?
Orly, also known as Orlando Bloom, and Bernard Hill are the only 2 actors who appear in 2 of the 3 movies that have grossed over $1 billion at the box office.
Well, Orlando Bloom was in those Pirates movies.
2 of the 3 movies. Yep. They're both in 2 of the 3 movies.
I'm going to think the first 2 Pirates movies did very, very well. So that's plausible. Who's the other guy?
Bernard Hill.
Who the hell is Bernard Hill?
Well, he's one of only 2 actors in the world that's appeared in 2 of the 3 highest grossing movies.
You know what? I'm going to declare that one bullshit because of that. Because I don't know who Bernard Hill is.
Is that your final answer?
I'm going for it, baby.
Throw up wrong.
Oh, travesty.
They were both in Lord of the Rings, Return of the King, and Pirates of the Caribbean, Dead Man's Chest.
Okay, bring up, who is this? Bernard, what's his face? Who is this?
Bernard
I gotta see
Hill.
his face.
That's not an N. Oh yeah, N-A-R.
I didn't know you were gonna have to type.
You just said pull him
Oh,
up.
there he is. Okay, let's see.
Of course you know who that is.
Oh, he was like the crew chief or something.
Well, there you go. Too bad 0.
That wasn't even a role in the movie. You kidding me?
According to
Kill the umpire.
According to the
That's what people are saying.
According to the internet, the World Wide Web, this is the correct answer.
Wow. No idea. So which was the false one?
That Ginger Spice Jerry Hall didn't leave because she was exposed for a nude picture because she wanted to go
I think she just left because she married somebody very, very, very rich.
Nope, she left because she wanted her own solo career, and then that tanked, and then she married someone really rich.
Yeah.
Who's in the movie? He's a Formula 3 driver for Red Bull.
Wow.
See what you learned?
Me too. All right, everybody.
Wow.
So I'm still ahead, but easily could get beat here. And you know what's going to help me know is if we go right to what's the next time we're on the show?
2 weeks.
Okay.
The
But
17th.
what are the movies that we have? Ooh, this is going to be an interesting matchup.
Dylan Dog? Oh, okay, so I gave Tim Rocky 3, I Pity the Fool, one with Mr. T in
With
it.
Mr. T. I have seen this movie.
Yeah, so have I, so does America. But I think it's
People always talk about Rocky 4, though.
I gave you Rocky 4 in season 1.
Was it season 1?
Yeah, right out of the gates, probably like second or third inning. But anyways, this is one of those movies that, you know what? I went and saw this at Southridge Cinemas. Southridge.
Yeah.
It was out there.
Back when there were malls.
Yeah, Rocky was a big thing, and you had the big villain as Mr. T. This is a good movie.
That's what she said. He has a big thing.
But yeah, Tim gets Rocky 3. Eventually, he'll get all the Rockies.
Okay. I don't know if that's a good call, but okay. I think I've seen the good ones now. And then we have Dylan Dog. Have you ever heard of this movie before?
What do you think? What do you think, Tim?
So Dylan Dog is based on a comic book series about a guy that, for all essence and purpose for this, is kind of a vampire zombie hunter.
Why is it Dylan Dog? Is there going to be a dog in here?
I don't think there is a dog in there.
Oh. False advertising, people.
It stars, what's his name? The guy that went on to play Superman later on. I like the movie. It's not one of my absolute favorites. I suspect you're going to find it interesting. You're going to find it interesting because it's a little unusual and it's a little more of a glossy look at a horror movie.
Okay.
So, and there's a lot of action. It's a lot of like outlandish action. And also, remember, we're doing this show for an audience. I want to introduce the audience to this movie if they don't know about it.
We're all good.
And so many people have not heard of this movie.
No one's heard of this movie ever.
No, there's a lot of people that love it. But
are we
you're
jumping
not
into
one
a
of them.
middle of a bowl of soup? Are we going to jump into a middle of a bowl of soup for this?
What?
Will we be jumping into the middle of a bowl of
Oh
soup?
my
with
God!
this?
Just enough with the soup. Enough with the soup.
People understand.
Nobody wants to hear about the soup anymore.
People understand me.
Now, for those,
They do. They get me.
why is Horror Realm coming up right now? This is incorrect. Next week we have Dead on movie reviews, not Horror Realm Radio. I'm so irritated with myself right now. I don't even know what to say. But if you tune in next week, which is a date other than what I have up there we go. You go to Dead on Movie Reviews will be on Dead on Thursday next week. So we're going to have 4 people talking about different movies that they watched, their horror movies, and then we're back the very next week.
With Dylan Dog and Rocky 3.
And I apparently am going to bring dinner, which will involve Spam and Soup. That might be the title of the show. Spam and Soup. We might start a new podcast called Spam and Soup, everybody. Write that down. It's happened before where something dumb we say becomes a show.
Before we get away, Trogzor just put something very smart into this comment box. He said,
He did.
I'm starting to think
On
Jeff
purpose?
is confusing soup with cereal, and he's talking about eating the marshmallows in his Lucky Charm first, which I do and I don't. I don't eat the marshmallows first. I eat all the oat pieces, and then the reward is the marshmallows at the end. So you have a little bit flip-flop, but yeah, I do that.
Okay, and because we're a live show, do you want to tell people what the score is on our thing?
I'm very happy right now. The Brewers are winning.
Okay, that makes Jeff happy. So we're going to end the show so he can watch the rest of the game. And we want to thank everybody that came out.
Thank you.
I think we had a lot of people in the chat room today. We really appreciate it. Oh, yeah, put that in there.
Undaunted. Go Brew.
Our little fan over here is so excited.
I'm in the same room as Tim because watch this.
It's magic. It's magic. Hey, it's time to close the Crypt and call the game. Thank you all for watching, and remember to share and subscribe to our show and feed. Click the little bell button, the little heart button, wherever you are. You can find the show on otherworldlyculture.com, of course, and you can follow the show on Apple Podcasts, Amazon Podcasts, Pandora, iHeart, TuneIn, Stitcher, Spotify, YouTube, and other fine places you find podcasts. The chat room just asked to see the back of that towel.
The back?
Yeah. Just hold that up in front of your face. Yeah, keep it there. So remember, everybody, if it's sports...
It's a home run.
And if it's her, run home. We're dead on the bases, and we'll see you next time.
Didn't do
What?
it. Didn't do the otherworldlyculture.com.
It actually did.
Oh, then
You weren't listening.
soupcanbescary.com.
Susie can be scary?
No, soup.
Why are you saying things about
No,
Susie
soup.
again?
Soup can be scary. You don't know what soup you
Why?
want.
Oh,
Well, just you get good soup, and then if you don't get the right soup, you don't know what you're getting.
you are the only person that thinks about that. You're it.
I think
You're
there's,
one in a
there's-
million, buddy.
There's other out there.
No, there is not.
You never went to a restaurant, ordered soup, and got the wrong soup.
You know what else I've never done? Eating the spam that's in the back of that fridge.
And we're not eating it in 2 weeks either. Are we?
Oh, yeah.